want to thank each and every one of you for being here today. The Blue Raiders, after an open date, will get back on track in conference play this week at FIU. Kickoff is at 2:30. To get things started, I'd like to bring up head coach Rick Stockstill.
Good deal. Appreciate you guys being here. Really looking forward to this week. We coming off an open date, as you guys well know. We've had a couple good practices last week leading up to this week. We had a good workout yesterday, so we're anxious. I told the guys yesterday that it seems like, it's been a long time, and usually that's what happens. When you lose a game, then you have an open date. It just seems like it takes forever for that next game to get here. So extremely excited about it. Hungry, got a great edge, I feel. We'll have a great edge when we get down there, and just looking forward to playing this game. And FIU, is at 3-3 at the middle of the year. Now they've gone on a 4-game losing streak. A couple of those games have been 3-point losses, one to 16-13 to Texas San Antonio, and then last week to Old Dominion. So you can't look at their record and say, this or that. This is a good football team, especially on defense. They're, one of the top-rated defenses in the conference. They're up there statistically in most categories. So I say it all the time that it's about us. It's about how we prepare. It's not about who you play. And I think this game is very indicative of that philosophy. So we've got to make sure we worry about ourselves, that we take care of ourselves mentally, physically, that we go down there and ready to play a great game this Saturday afternoon. So, they're really good in the special teams. They got a dynamic kick returner and punt returner. He leads the conference in punt returns, right up there, and kickoff returns as well. So, again, this is won't look at the record, and, we got a lot to play for. There's a lot of meat left on that bone, so to speak, and anxious to get out there Saturday afternoon.
Bowl eligible. Will you comment on it now?
No, sir, because we're not. And I'm concerned. Our team is concerned about FIU, and we all know you win one more, you're bowl eligible. But that doesn't have anything to do with playing FIU. So. Won't comment on it other than I know I'm aware of it. We're aware of it as a team. We don't talk about it as a team, but they know what's at stake. They know what's left out there. We're still in second place in the conference. We're 4-1. Again, I've said it all last 3 weeks. We need some help. Don't know if we'll get it or not, but we can't control that. All we can control is us and going down to FIU and playing a good football game.
I think one game in basically the last month for you guys. How was practice the last couple of days to last week when you got out there? How do you get them refocused for 3 more conference games, I guess is what I'm getting at.
We got a great focus. We got a great mental edge, got a wonderful attitude within this team, within that locker room. They don't have to get ready for 3 games. They're getting ready for 1 game. And that's how we'll approach it. That's how we've always approached it. They know they got 3 games left. Those seniors, Isaiah, Lalo, they've only got, 20 days left guaranteed. So, but you don't look at it that way. You look at being the best you can be on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and just getting ready to play a good game down at FIU. So. We know what's left. We know all that stuff, but we don't talk about it. We talk about, what we can control, and that's us playing a good game this weekend.
You look over the stats. You mentioned that the record's really not indicative. They're +8 in turnover. I mean, how can you be 3-7 and be +8 in turnover margin? Can you comment on that?
Well, yeah, when they lost a couple games, by 3 points. Actually, they've lost 3 games by 3 or less. They got beat in their first game 14-12. They got beat by UTSA 16-13 and 38-35. So 3 of those losses are by 8 points. They've done a great job. They got a bunch of turnovers. I think it was 5 or 6 against UAB. in their win over them. So their offense is doing a very good job of protecting the ball. Their offense is doing a good job of protecting their defense and not putting their defense on a short field. And then their defense has been, very opportunistic. They had the one game where they got a bunch there, but they usually come up with a couple each game, and that's a challenge to our offense that we've got to make sure that we protect the football. And you say it all the time. We talk about it all the time, how important that is. And you can see FIU had one turnover in that game against Old Dominion. And it's a 35-35 game. They turn it over late in the game with seconds left, and Old Dominion kicks a field goal. And that's a prime example of how important the ball is. And, we've got to make sure. They do a good job. They're athletic. They can run. They're extremely fast on defense. So our guys have got to do a good job of securing the football. Our line has to do a good job in protecting our quarterback. Our line has to do a great job in staying on blocks and maintaining their blocks, so guys aren't getting clean shots. Their safety is really active in knocking balls out.
In Florida, they're not the most tradition-rich team in that state. Some really powerful programs. Can you maybe speak on how far, I know they were in the Sun Belt with you, this team, how far this program maybe has come, and maybe that turnover number is sort of an indication of maybe where they're headed, if they can just find a way to win some of these close games in the next couple of years?
Well, I have a lot of respect for Ron Turner, their head coach. He's coached in the NFL. He's been a head coach at Indiana. He's a good football coach. He's only been there a year and a half, year and 3/4 now. It takes time to implement your philosophies, your offensive, defensive, kicking game schemes, all that. So to me, FIU is better than what they were last year, and that's a compliment to Coach Turner and his staff, that when you can say, hey, we're getting better. They were 1-11 last year. Now they're 3-7, and 3 of those losses have been by a total 8 points. So they're more competitive than what they were last year. They're a better football team than what they were last year, and so Ron deserves a lot. He and his staff deserve a lot of credit in what they're doing down there. They're you guys know, you don't have to leave Miami to go look for a recruit. It's you can get whatever you need in a 30-mile radius. And if you watch that 30-30 or whatever it was with the U when Coach Snellenberger got there, drew a 100-mile radius around Miami, and that's all they recruited, and they won a couple of national championships out of it. So FIU's I think they're doing a good job. They're getting better.
I haven't asked you about your offensive line much at all this year. Probably a knock on my part. I apologize for that. Grade their performance. It seems like when you guys play well, they're playing well and doing their job, and when you're not, maybe the other team is winning up front. Can you grade their performance 9 games in?
Well, you guys know offensive line, those are the unsung heroes. And very seldom do you ask about them unless they do something bad. And those guys are, all of them, Isaiah, Darius, Gator, Josh, David. Those guys are they battle every game. They battle every day in practice. They compete extremely hard. They've done a good job. They've won a lot of battles, and, they've lost a couple battles like you're going to. So, but I think those guys have done a really good job. I think Coach Wade has done a nice job with them. We've had some injuries up front there where we've had to move people around, and you got 3 guys in there in the middle that basically didn't play much or not at all before this season started. And, we're sitting here, with a chance to have a really good season. So a lot of respect for those guys. And to me, that's where it all starts. If you're a good football team or a good offensive team, those have got to be the stars of your team, your offensive linemen. And to me, we got some stars up there. They've done a nice job.
Have special teams been special for you this year so far?
I think you look at it and could you have done some things better in certain areas? Yes. But when you got 2 punt returns for a touchdown, you've blocked a punt, you've blocked some field goals, you've blocked an extra point. We've had some good returns, back there. So I think we've done a good job. Could we do better? Could we have done better? Can we do better? Yes, but when you evaluate the whole product of after 9 games, we've done a lot of good things out there, a lot of special things. And, when you get to this time of the year, you get late in the year, I've always said special teams are magnified the first couple games because that's where so many games can be won and lost because it's early in the year. Then you go through that middle part of the year where everybody's, pretty solid, and then you get to the back end, you've got injuries, you got new people coming in, got different things, and that's where you can be different. You can win some games at the end of the year because of your special teams units, and that's why we spend so much time on special teams. So I'm pleased with where we are. We've kicked the field goals good. Missed a chip shot the other day or last week, but Cody's been consistent, been pretty consistent kicking off. He's had a couple bad ones, but this is the first time he's ever kicked off too because we lost our kicker back in August. So, Cody, it's the first time he's kicked off. So, but yeah, I've been pleased with our special teams.
Coach, you talked a little bit about being a little unusual having 2 open dates in a 3-week period. What were you able to gain from that, health-wise, being fresh?
I think, Chip, the big thing is probably as much as anything, just a break from the mental grind, the physical grind of, and I probably said it last week or 2 weeks ago, but, these guys went all through summer, and school didn't end till the middle of camp. So they went all through, they never got a break in the summer between summer workouts and then the start of fall camp. So they had all the summer, then you got 3 weeks of August camp, and then you go 8 straight weeks of playing a game with the type of people that we had to play is a grind on your body, and it's also a grind on you mentally. So, I think as much as anything, we're fresher mentally. Some bumps and bruises have been able to heal. I don't know if there's anybody that we've gotten back that we had lost earlier in the year because of the open dates. Most of the people we've lost have been, season-ending injuries. So I think the big thing is just I think we act like, we practice like we're a fresher football team mentally.
FIU is, when you look at their numbers, they've struggled to score points. What are they doing good offensively, and where have they had issues?
Well, they went through a little quarterback, deal there in the middle, early of the year. I think they're more consistent now offensively. They want to run the ball. They threw it 13 times and ran it 55 times, I think it was, against Old Dominion. So they want to establish the run, and they got good backs. Their offensive line is big, and they stay on blocks, they stay on bodies good. So we got to do a good job defensively of getting off blocks, setting the edges, making sure we don't let them, get leverage on us outside. But then they've protected the ball. that's enabled them to stay in most of the games that they've played. And, when you got a young quarterback, I'm sure they're probably a little less risky. They're probably not taking as many chances because of him, and that, you get down there in the red zone, they, might rely on the run a little bit more than the pass because, the opportunity for a field goal. So I think probably all that, you put that in a bowl and mix it up, and probably what comes out.
More questions? Thanks, Coach.
Good deal. Appreciate you guys. Have a great week.
Isaiah?
How are you, man?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. Tell me about the offensive line. 9 games in, 3/4 of the way through the season. Grade your performance. How do you think you guys have done?
Honestly, I think we've exceeded expectations. Losing Josh Walker and Jadarius Hamlin and Nick Nunez, the guys we lost, that was huge. Josh is obviously in the NFL. I think we've done a good job. Coach Wade has done a good job with our young guys, developing them. I think me and Darius have done decent so far, trying to develop some talent and instill identity in these guys. But I feel like we could do better, but I'm not upset with our performance so far.
How much, any 3 games left, any added pressure on yourself to get this bowl game out of the way? Just kind of go on and knock it out as soon as you can.
I mean, of course, that's our number 1 or 2 goal at the beginning of the season, to go to a bowl game. We're in a position that, we're in a Coach Stock, the way we do our schedules, the way we close out is important. And playing 2 teams with losing records, and that doesn't mean anything. We just have to focus on what we do best and go out here and win the games.
One of the cliches is, they remember what you do in November. Y'all say that in the locker room at all?
We don't ever really talk about it. I don't think. I've just kind of noticed it, it's my 5th year that we do really well in the month of November. And I think it's just a testament to Coach Stock and the rest of the coaching staff and how we finish the year off.
FIU, when you look at 8 in turnover margin, I know they had a big game against UAB, but still for a 3-17 to be that far up in turnovers, what does that say about the defense and how they're able to just really attack opposing offenses?
Well, what makes them good is 3rd downs. They get you in a lot of tough 3rd down situations, and they bring a lot of heat. I think it's a testament to their players. They take pride in forcing turnovers and, getting sacks and getting after the ball. I think they're a good team, and they just had some good luck so far on 3rd downs.
How's it going?
Doing well. How are you?
Doing good.
Getting bowl eligible, how important is that to this team, and is there any added pressure on you guys to do that?
It's important, but there's no pressure. All we have to do is worry about FIU right now.
Like Chip was saying earlier, and when Coach answered the question about their offense and how they have struggled at some points this season, not really putting up a lot of points, does that, when you see that on the stat sheet, as a defensive player, how does your mindset change?
You look at it, you just think to yourself, are they a good offense or are they a bad offense, or is there something going on? That's why you have to ignore the stats and ignore what's on paper, especially statistics sometimes. Sometimes you just have to go look at film, and that's what will tell you what type of players they have.
Having said that about statistics, you're really, really close now. Do you look, when you see that, maybe this is an opportunity where they have a young quarterback and you're a guy that's getting ready to set an all-time record at the school, does it make you smile? I mean, do you get at least a little excitement knowing that potentially you could do that this week?
It does excite me, but I just have to take every opportunity I get in the game to try to make a play for the team.
Coach talked a little bit about you guys, the seniors, having 20-some-odd days guaranteed. Do you think for the senior class on this team that makes them, all of a sudden you wake up one morning and go, oh my goodness, here we are?
Well, I feel like every single time, every senior, especially Isaiah, Christian, they went hard since I first met them, especially people like Reggie, watching them work every single time, and Chris Sharp. It's like they just take it at one day at a time. and play like it's always going to be their last snap. And last week we got the cards for senior night, just call them the clock out cards. But every day is crucial. Every play is crucial. That's how everybody takes it.
But you'd rather play a little overtime instead of clocking out after the end of November.
I don't want to go into any overtime games. Just want to get the win. That's all that matters.
So what did you guys do on Saturday? Who were you watching on TV? You know, did you enjoy checking out other teams?
Not really. It feels like I haven't played in a really long time. And I like to watch my teammates play. That's the best part. I'm their biggest fan. So if it's sitting out on Saturday, it's like I can pass on it every week.